welcome to your favorite online internet program, www.sxmtalk.com. Of course, I'm your host, Christopher Emmanuel, and let me welcome you to a very interesting program. I hope you guys are doing well. Call a friend, call someone, and tell them to log on now to www.sxmtalk.com. And we're going to get right into the program, and that's why I post up on Facebook, St. Martin people, keep your heads up. Keep it up. Keep it up. I know a lot of you guys feel, how should I say it? You feel down, you feel sad, you feel, like, oh my goodness, what is there now, what is left? Patience. Patience. Keep your head up. Keep your head up. Because it goes to show who really and truly is looking out for the interests of the country. And let me say why. We have a constitution that is not clear in terms of which is which and which supersedes which. Do I believe in the role of majority? Yes, I believe in the role of majority. I do believe in the role of majority. And what people need to understand is there is two bodies of government that was in conflict with each other. Parliament is saying we have a majority and we no longer share the confidence of the ministers, so they should pack up and go home. The government, the executive branch, saying, wait a minute, this is going to be the third government in 3 years, a number of bribing scandals, a number of issues going on. We think the people of the country deserve the right to decide if this is what they want. So we're going to dissolve Parliament. But let me tell you the difference here. We have on one side the President of Parliament, Dr. Anders Rudolph Samuel, and we have on the other side the Prime Minister, Sarah Westcott Williams. What is it? On one side, the President of Parliament has a time limit. He can only adjourn meetings for so long. The Prime Minister, on the other hand, don't have that time limit. And she can refuse to accept the motion on the agenda point for as long as she wants. She can refuse and refuse and refuse and refuse and refuse. So we can continue to stalemate. The ministers didn't have to resign. They could have stayed there. But then the country remains in this impasse. The country gets stagnant. Political views starts to change. Violence starts to creep in. Anger starts to creep in. You start to hear all the different slurs passing around. So then the question is, how long should we remain in the situation that we are in? I had my production manager walk into the studio and decide we should have stick it out. Go as long as you want to go. Because you got people believing in you. And you got this and you got that. I didn't answer. Because you have to wonder how one does analyze a situation. And again, it goes back to the question, how long is long enough? How long should we maintain the stalemate? How long? There are higher bodies that have to make a decision. Higher bodies that have to make a decision. So the question is, when will the governor make the decision? When will the governor instruct the Prime Minister to put the motion on the agenda point so it could be discussed? You have a majority of the Council of Ministers saying they want to dissolve Parliament. A majority. And yes, the ministers could have continued the stalemate. with Parliament, and we could have be going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But somehow, somewhere, one must say that it cannot continue like this. It cannot continue like this. Do I agree that the ministers should have resigned or should resign? Do I agree with the resignation? Yes. 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 Why? Because the authorities and the powers to be are not acting. And the ministers can only hang on for so long. They can only hang on for so long. But what this exercise has done, it has renewed a new sound spirit in the people of St. Martin to really see who is power hungry from who is not. Because at all ends and all means, under all conditions, the Prime Minister is hell-bent on staying in the position that she's in. To hell with the people of St. Martin. I don't care about you. So again, I come back to the point as to why it's a ridiculous statement and a reason. No professionalism and no cohesiveness. So here we're going to have the Prime Minister in her third cabinet. So I leave the question to you, who's the one being professional? Who's the one being professional? But when you see the crowd, when you see the mob that stormed the Parliament building, the words what was being sent back and forth, the chanting outside the building, one must be the adult, one must be the grown-up and say, listen, this is not good for our country. This is not good for St. Martin. And this is the reason why I applaud the ministers for tendering their resignation. This is the reason why I say, guys, job well done. So we wait to see what happens. Do I have a gut feeling inside of me that we're going to be open for a surprise? Yes. Yes, I have that wrenching gut feeling inside of me that the country will be shocked with a surprise. And I mentioned it on the radio program last night that I was on with Fernando Clark and the other guys. I mentioned it on the program. Here you have, and I'm going to call the names so that everyone can understand who they are. We have from the DP, Leroy DeWeaver, Roy Marlin. We have from the UP, Sylvia Myers, Olivachi, Yanchi Leonard, Gracita Arundel, Jules James, Ruth Douglas. And we also have the independent member, Romain Laville. 8 members of parliament that makes the majority right now. 8 members of parliament that makes a majority. St. Martin people, 2 members of the ministers, which is Sylvia Jacobs and William Marlin, 2 members, got more votes than all the 8 members in parliament now that forms a majority. 2 members that are ministers got more votes than the 8 members right now in parliament that form a majority. So one would say, yeah, but that's ridiculous. The numbers don't count like that because as it is, they're all members of parliament. Yes, you're right. Yes, you're right. And we shouldn't be using those numbers. We shouldn't be using those numbers. But it goes to show representation. It goes to show representation. So the Prime Minister, regardless of what is going on in the country, regardless of the actions in Parliament, the individuals in Parliament, people that being assumed that this one got gun and this one is this one bodyguard and then this one was involved in all these sort of things. People ask him, but what he doing there? Where he come from? There in Parliament is a public session. Should the country continue on this path? So, you know, that is what I'm asking people. What this have done is brought light to many things that are happening now in St. Martin. You're going to see it and you're going to hear about it. And like I said, my gut is telling me, before this month is out, we're going to be faced with a rude awakening. Before this month is out. Don't take it as face value. Don't take it as face value. We have a few gangsters in government now. Because that's what they are, gangsters in government. And they are coming in to rake and scrape the last kung kung out of the pot. That's what they're coming in to do. Oh, the ministers and them should have hold out. We got more confidence in them because they make us this and they make us that. So they should have hold out or held out for how long? And continue doing what? Continue hold out and continue doing what? But up to this present moment, no one can answer the question. Which supersedes which? Article 33 or Article 59? Which supersedes which? Parliament sending home the ministers, ministers dissolving Parliament. Which supersedes which? Which is the highest body? A decree or an ordinance? Which supersedes which? The Constitution or the rules of order? Which supersedes which? So then you ask yourself the question again. Parliament could dissolve, Parliament could send the ministers home because they could wake up one day and say, man, look, I just don't have confidence in them, let's send them home. Can the ministers do that? No. Only if there's this and only if there's that in Parliament. Where is that information? That is based on what? Who interpreted the Constitution to be that way? What we know for sure and what is factual for sure, we know for a fact that we have a member of Parliament in an alleged bribery scandal. We know for a fact that the owner of the establishment said is the leader of the up party that told him to make the recording. We know for a fact that Romain Avil said the up leader tried to bribe him. We know for a fact that he went to the prosecutor with it. These things are facts. We supposed to have that bribery scandal tape. Long time we watch it, you know. I know if my production manager could throw it up and we could get a little peek at it Long time we ain't watch it. I'm going to ask him to see if he could find it, and maybe we could trade up and get just a little piece of it. But people of St. Martin, I am saying keep your head up because it's not going to last. And why it's not going to last? Because they're all greedy. They all struck. They all want and want and want. So somebody going to eat off somebody's head. And Prime Minister, you have a lot to answer about the Justice Park. Because the former Minister of Justice is talking. So you have a lot to answer about the Justice Park. You can imagine, and this is why I just tell people, you can imagine Maurice Lake being a minister? Seriously? Can you just imagine Maurice Lake being a minister? Yeah? I mean, Lord, I don't want to use this description, but I just want to remind people what this bribery scandal tape look like. Let me take a look at it.
The minister, he was trying to meet you before, but then it tightened up. And some of you was Angola, some of violent.
Who, me?
Yeah.
I'm not a violent. 1 second, wait. Facebook. What things we need now? Do we know
a
it?
copy. Okay, the phone roll on that. Have it out.
Yeah, happy.
The other thing, copy.
Roll on paper.
And give me some of your business, like where you register at the chambers or something.
Registratie.
Yeah. Let me see. And that's it. You see, this guy, you remember Frederick?
Hoe?
Frederick, he worked economic affairs. He now moved and he's working.
Registratie van waar? Van de Kamer van Koophandel?
Ja. Een kopietje van dat. And the license. Your other license that you had before, and then the one from the.
Yeah, but that is the license, okay, from 2006.
Yes. And then you're gonna have the one, then they're gonna see what exactly is
Kamer, oké. Hey, ik heb een andere vraag, hè? Want omdat vergeet het verhuizen alsjeblieft niet, het verhuisadres.
No, I don't really have that already. From Sister Patentia.
Ja.
You're going.
Hey,
you're coming from.
Nou,
Ryan Road,
maar
something.
kan die er alsjeblieft in zetten dat wij want dat was normaal bij Maho, dat de sluitingstijd 5 uur 's ochtends is of zo, weet je wel. Dat ik niet, dat ze kan zeggen, je moet dicht om 5 uur of 4 uur. Je weet maar nooit hoe ze eerder gaan zeggen van, ja, alle bedrijven moeten zo en zo laat dicht, al die bullshit.
But how did you go close then?
Nou, omdat het nooit overgeschreven is van Maho, dat is het verhaal. Ja, ze kunnen niks doen, maar ik bedoel, ze kunnen lastig.
Okay, well then, okay, I'll have to tell you.
Gewoon openingstijden, gewoon omdat wij breakfast
that's
doen.
why we wanted to meet with you. That's why you gotta tell him. But anyway,
Ja, maar vandaag was het de kinderen, ik heb beloofd dat ik mee zou gaan, vandaag, morgen, dinsdag gaan we allemaal weg, dus kan ik nou niet gaan zeggen, ja.
Okay, I will tell him. He's gonna be back.
Ik moet ook vader spelen.
I'm gonna be in Curaçao on tomorrow. Yeah.
Openingstijd. Oké, Ronald's papier, registratie, Kamer van Koophandel, license wat ik gehad heb in 2006. Verhuizen, oké, dat reken jij al, de verhuizen.
No, we already have that. Remember the day you gave me the paper? Ryan Road, Maho Ryan Road 2, Patentia's France.
Hey, niet gelijk schreeuwen, maar ik heb 15 heb ik nou op het moment alleen. Ja, maar we zijn er bijna, man. We zijn er bijna, toch bijna geregeld.
I go tomorrow with
We zijn er bijna. Ja, nou nog alleen dit. Dus zo, dat is, kijk, weet je wel, we hebben echt een fucking rustige maand. Ik kan gewoon niet te veel uit de zaak halen. Als je te veel uit de zaak haalt. Als je te veel uit de zaak haalt, wacht even. Als je te veel uit de zaak haalt, dan valt dat op natuurlijk. Snap je wat ik bedoel? Ik heb nou mijn eigen salaris erbij gedaan, man, van september en van oktober. Ik wil er ook zo snel mogelijk vanaf, Patrick.
Well, I told you, listen, yeah, I told you from the one, I don't think you're the trust us or whatever.
Ik wil er ook zo snel mogelijk vanaf.
We definitely get up into the immigration. Ludo.
Weet hoe?
The last time, boy, you was in away. Client told me, I think you wanted to extend one of the girls. some girls in the state.
Nou, kijk, soms hè, meiden, die zijn echt goed. Die willen dan, ik geef je nou een voorbeeld, die we nou net aangenomen hebben, die kunnen tot eind februari blijven. Zou ze het liefst nog een week of 2 erbij willen hebben. Niet meer, moet je gewoon gaan, maar dan hebben ze net de Heineken erbij. Snap je? Ze zitten nou ook in.
I can work with Udo, that's what they
Dat is goed.
is a good guy.
Hij begrijpt ons wel.
Yeah, I
Ja.
go, listen, well, I said, listen, Bob, Udo, when he came here to get thing, they didn't want him. I talked to Roland, I said, let Roland explain to me why it's okay. I said, Udo, we sat in a meeting travel, I said, listen, yeah, this is Roland, go ahead.
Maar hey, luister even, wat is het verhaal dan met die fucking Marlin bullshit? Ah ja, ik heb dat gewoon gehoord, hè, dat Marlin tegen je had loopt te lullen dat jij... ik weet er niks van, Patrick, ik zeg het alleen maar, dat ik gehoord heb, daarom kwam ik ook naar jou toe. Patrick, only for the money, and Patrick this and whatever.
And you told me that someday.
Ja, maar jij had hem toch gepakt, zei je toch?
Yeah, of course we had a big stand up because he was about bullshit. We need to move on with the government.
Okay.
The administration
Oh,
building was awful.
Maar niet dat ik, whatever, dat hij niet, weet ik veel wat.
No, he doesn't know, no.
Nee, dat is de laatste. Want die man die houdt niet van witte mensen, hè? Dat is het verhaal. Snap je?
Listen, fuck him. We control the government. But I don't mess with him and I just told him the time and I think, listen, don't, just do what the fuck you gotta do. Yeah, last had Frans een probleem met hem met de dingen. They don't like to stand for nothing.
Ik blijf zo ver mogelijk bij die man in de buurt, want ik weet dat hij mij helemaal niet mag. Ik doe
wel
altijd heel aardig tegen hem. Hallo meneer Marlin, nou joh, ik weet dat zijn verjaardag is in oktober, toevallig. Dat heeft hij me een keer verteld, maar voor de rest blijf ik bij
I don't
Marlin.
fuck around with him neither. But he have respect. Listen, what he said, I don't give a fuck. I do what I have to do.
Deze koppies, wat moet ik nou mee doen morgen?
You have them for me now?
Nee, dat ga ik morgen allemaal regelen. Want het is een heel druk weekend geweest, maar we hebben een heel slecht weekend gehad met druk.
When I gonna pick them up?
Ik breng ze wel voor je als je wilt. Ik kom wel naar de stad toe.
Call me when you reach call me.
Oké, no problem.
Then I go to the girl because he appointed a lady to work along with me
Oké.
on this. Because
Perfect.
tomorrow afternoon I'm going to do some.
Oh shit.
The sewing center heb ik je al verteld.
Wat ga je doen?
The sewing center. Put one here. Justice with the justice budget we're gonna put for sewing center.
Sewing center?
Om te naaien hè. Die jonge
Oh.
meiden en zo te naaien.
Om wat te naaien?
Kleren. To be specific, school uniforms. Gaan ze
Hoi,
even aan
doe
de
me één
bank
plezier.
zetten.
Schooluniforms. 100% katoen. Alsjeblieft. De kinderen hier ook dragen geen 100% katoen. Die krijgen allemaal uitslag.
Ja.
100% katoen moet het wezen. Niet 95%.
Ik zet de heat.
Natuurlijk, 100% katoen neemt je kleding. Dat heb je toch zelf ook altijd aan. Hier in die scholen hebben allemaal nylon shit en weet ik wat allemaal. Die broek ook is belachelijk gewoon. Weet je ook belachelijk vind? Milton Peters School is de kinderen moeten zwarte schoenen aan. Doe even normaal man.
Nog warmer.
Nog warmer.
Ja, ja.
Dat doe je in Siberië als het koud is, maar niet zo fucking green.
Yeah, black with the
Gewoon even drink?
Okay. Give me, you have to put this shit away.
Wat is je zakje jong? Ik heb niet eens aan gedacht vandaag man. Ik ben even, ik was zo blij dat ik vandaag ook nog eventjes wegkom. En dan hoop ik dat je niet overvallen wordt.
Let me take this. Oh, you need to, yeah, you need this.
Nee, je mag die bril meenemen, die wil ik niet.
Yeah, this is right.
Bril of niet?
Yeah, that was just a little reminder. Just a little reminder of what we are dealing with. So here you see it's being alleged. It's being alleged. But the white boy in that tape is telling the people of St. Martin in the public newspaper that Theo Heidegger told him to do it. Theo Heidegger told him to do it to blackmail a friend so he could get back in office. So then the questions are being asked. What did you get, Romain? What did you get? So this is the reason why I'm saying to the people of St. keep your head up, because we know it's not going to last. Somebody gonna eat off somebody. Why? Because of their greed. But I'm going to say this, St. Martin. I'm going to say this, and please listen to me. You should never ever vote. Never ever vote for that majority of 8 in government, in parliament anymore. Don't vote for them. Let me explain to you why. They are all being controlled. They are all being controlled by Theo Heidegger and his greed of this country. And I say it over and over. He's not a leader. He's a dealer. And he's dealing the business of St. Martin people away. These guys are playing for keeps. He's running a business. And government is the asset. We need to send a strong and resounding message that this is not what we want in this country. You see what happened? We have some double standards and hypocrites in this country. Eh? And everybody is saying, but what's good for the goose should be good for the gander, and it happened last year and it didn't happen this year, and why this and why that? No, it is not the same. National Alliance had nothing to do with our government falling apart last year. It is the same individuals, the same people. And it is falling apart because of want. That's all it is. Want and greed. So then and what is it? What is it that was going bad? What is it that was going bad with his government? The budget was voted by all of them overwhelmingly. Overwhelmingly, they voted for the budget, all. So then, it is not the ministers who was unprofessional. It's you guys in parliament. Because you voted for the budget. And then I want to address Roy Marlin. It's National Alliance, it's the National Alliance who appointed the governor of National Alliance. But the whole said board, the said, is DP who appoint all of them. It's Sarah who appoint all of them. But it is clear who has St. Martin interest at heart. Because the government didn't fall because the guys were corrupt. The government didn't fall because they wasn't doing their jobs. The government didn't fall because they didn't know what they were doing. The government didn't fall because they were not good. The government didn't fall because they were not professional and not being cohesive. But Sarah Westcott Williams is professional. The Prime Minister is cohesive. Well, because we can't see, nor can we hear what goes on in a Council of Ministers meeting, if William Marlin is a Chavez, then Sarah is Idi Amin, Castro, Saddam Hussein, and all of them put in one. And these are the people we have running this country. And I'm going to say this, St. Martin, you're going to see it. Send a strong message and never vote for them again. We cannot continue to have these pirates in our country. The deals going on. So yes, I am scared, and yes, I am worried. Because Temple don't want 400,000 now. They want 600,000. And Romaine going to give it to them. 600,000. Dollarization will come. They are destroying the fabric of this country. And I mention it again, as far as I'm concerned, this new government, Sarah Westcott Williams' third cabinet, is an illegitimate government because they went against the cries and the word of the people. You only got 2,000 votes, Sarah. You only got 2,000 votes. Your whole entire party only managed to muster a mere 2,000 votes. There's a signature drive with over 7,000 signatures. So the question is, how would you react to the signature drive? What you have done is awakening the people and showing your true colors. You don't even want to talk about the majority of 8. You don't even want to talk about them because, I mean, Yanchi Leonard, what can you say? Ruth Douglas? There's nothing much. Gracita is a... You're trying to put it in context as how you could sort of... I mean, only Jules James got a big mouth out of all of them. But I like how the person fixed him. He got the audacity to talk about working for the people and having its way. Well, Mr. James, you have had your way because Pelican are still paying you. But those 180 people, that you put out of work. Dark days, St. Martin, but keep your head up because I have a gut feeling that something good is going to happen. We're going to fight it. We're going to fight it. So many people know what the Constitution looks like now. I believe many have read it, tried to understand it. But my questions remain, and it remains also for my boy Dave in Sabre, who supports Teal because he's family. Which supersedes which, Dave? It's going to come back, and the tables are going to turn, and the questions will be asked again. And it is so hypocritical that all you guys are against new elections simply because you know or have a feeling of the outcome. People won't forget. St. Martin people, keep your head up. Take care of yourself. God bless you guys. It's going to turn out for the best. Goodbye. Good night.
There was a time when people dare not utter a word. There was a time when people were in the dark and searching for accurate information. Just when all hope is lost and frustration hangs in the balance, XSM Talk emerges and broke the silence. Join host Christopher Emmanuel for live and serious discussions and hard talk.